Jack, how are you, man? Welcome back. Excited to see you here in Perth. Obviously, you recovered from a pretty crazy thyroid cartilage injury. After an injury like that, man, tell me, how are you feeling today being back up here? I know it was a tricky recovery and mentally and physically for yourself.
Yeah, look, it was tough, but Perth feels like home for me, especially in terms of the UFC. I was just talking to the ladies downstairs doing my photo shoot, and I said, does Perth feel different for you guys? Does it feel like everything's just a bit smoother than in Sydney? And they were like, nah. And then Daniel, my manager, said, well, you're 2-0 in Perth and 0-2 in Sydney, so that might have something to do with it. And I said, yeah, probably right there.
Do you get a new outlook on, I suppose, not only just your career, but life as well when you're in such a dangerous sort of predicament?
Yeah, definitely. Like it changed a lot about my mentality and the way I go about things. I think every fight week that you come to, you deal with a level of fear, and that level of fear goes up and down during the week. This was the first time in my life I dealt with that fear over the fight camp as well. Like I had times where it was hard to get in the gym for training and things like that, but I made a decision that I wasn't going to let being afraid dictate how I live my life, and I put so much work to get here, I wasn't going to just let it go. And I think over the process of the fight camp, of doing the work and carrying that fear with me, has put me in really good stead to now that I come here and it's like, it's a companion for me, and I think it's going to add weight to the scales in my favour instead of against me come Sunday.
You did a good interview with Australian MMA where you sort of admitted that if things maybe don't work out the way that you'd like them to in Perth, potentially this could be it.
Yeah, where is that scumbag? Is he here? Because that was so out of context.
Well, I want to know.
What I said was, as a fighter, and everyone will empathise with this, as a fighter, you have so many different fights in your career where you have a path that goes right and a path that goes left. And often the path that goes left leads you to finding a job or doing something different. We're not like other sports where you can get drafted and you can make a good wage and work your way through. My first Australian title fight, if I had lost that, probably would have been enough for me. If I had lost my Contender Series fight, I probably wouldn't have been and gone back to the system and done another 2 years. When I beat Herbert Burns, if I had got done by Herbert Burns, I probably would have been done. So it's not this big like, it's win or retire for Jack this week. That's sort of your mentality the whole way through. Like if I can't compete and be a world champion, why am I here getting my brain punched in?
Thanks for the clarification, man. Excited to see you take on Ramon Taveras. He's a pretty exciting fighter, man. What do you reckon of him as this next matchup here?
Yeah, Ramon's super exciting. I think he's bantamweight coming up to featherweight, which I think doesn't bode very well for him. But I'd love to sit here and tell you that where we are on the main card is all because of me and all because of, the work I've done. But I think that would be a little bit disingenuous. I think the reason we're at this spot on the main card is that this fight makes a really good matchup. You've got a southpaw boxer with heavy hands who walks forward against a switch fighter with heavy hands and heavy leg kicks who also walks forward. So obviously the UFC have looked at this matchup and said, let's put that on the main card. That makes sense.
I know you're passionate about horse racing, but Sydney Swans not making it into the grand final. That's your team, right, in the AFL. Who are you going for here? We're going with Geelong or Brisbane come Saturday?
Oh, a draw and they have to go back the next week.
No,
anything where you don't have to watch one of them win another one. Oh, God. I was hoping for Collingwood Hawks. Last week I had this hope that I'd get through the weekend and it was going to be Collingwood Hawthorn. And then I get here Monday morning and I'm staring down the barrel of Brisbane versus Geelong. Ugh.
There's extra time. There's no draws anymore, Jack. So you got to pick a winner.
I wish they could bring it back for this one.
Jack, over here.
Hello, mate.
You talked about 0-2 in Sydney, 2-0 in Perth. You're a very, not to say if you believe in superstitious things you're not level-headed, but you're kind of very level-headed kind of guy. You seem very smart and methodical in the way you approach fighting. But do those thoughts creep in? Are you a guy who believes in curses or blessings?
Nah, not really. And like two of my best friends never won a grand final. They've played in heaps and never won one. And they both won grand finals on the weekend. So shout out the Stool Dry boys. But For me, I try not to buy into any superstitions or curses, but I just hate Sydney, and that's not a curse. That's just I hate Sydney, so I just don't want to go there anymore.
I always appreciated your Walkout song. I don't know if it was an official song or it was just the clip from 8 Mile of like the rap.
Just
battle.
straight up the clip from 8 Mile.
Yeah, just the 8 Mile rap.
When I was a kid, like sneaking off to be able to watch 8 Mile at one of my friends' houses because I wasn't allowed to watch it.
But recently you've changed it to horses. Was there a reason for that other than your love of horses?
I like the song, and you only get one crack to be in the UFC, so you want to try and experience all different kinds of walkouts and all different kinds of fight weeks and all different kinds of fights.
Can I ask what this walkout is, or is it a surprise?
I'll let it be a surprise. I think it'll be a good one though.
We spoke a day before fight week started back in Melbourne. I kind of touched on it there, but even that answer there where you say, you only get one crack at it, enjoy it, have fun. You seem lighter. You seem maybe not as bothered by things anymore. I know you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but how kind of has the mentality changed?
I'm just a bit more mature. Like I'm growing up, sort of probably, even spending that time in the ICU when it gets put in front of you like that, you realise that you only have so many moments you get to enjoy, and I'm just trying to take it all in my stand, I would say. But also on the other thing of that, my last fight, my camp was horrific. No, it didn't impact the result of the fight, so I don't think I'm making an excuse for that. But I was in hospital 3 weeks before the fight. I had to get my finger straightened under anaesthetic. I couldn't run for 7 weeks. I had a really tough weight cut. So it was probably just weighing on me a little bit heavier, the last one we went into, whereas this week I just feel really comfortable in myself. I don't have to convince myself that I'm having a good time because I am.
You're a guy who's incredibly well-spoken. As I mentioned, we talked before, and you talked about a little bit more media obligations this time. How have you found it? How has fight week actually been for you?
Yeah, it's been great. I'm the first guy in the history of the UFC to fall upwards after a loss. I've somehow ended up on the main card doing all the press conferences and all the media. So shout out Arabella and the media team for putting me up.
If I'm not mistaken, I think this will be Khan Offley's first UFC camp back at Absolute. The last one, was he at CKB or Absolute?
That's correct, yeah. So Khan and I trained together for the better part of 7 years, and then Khan wanted to develop some skills and went elsewhere, and then he's come back and we did this full fight together. We actually had a really nice moment where Khan, when he got back, he just sort of said to me, well, whatever you need, I'm here, and if you can do the same for me. And I said 100%. So he actually ended up coming out and training at our striking gym as well, at the ring gym. So we spent every day together, twice a day for the last 10 weeks. And he helped me incredibly. And I think you'll see the best version of him come Rio in a couple of weeks.
You guys are mates. You guys trained together for 7 years. But being in the UFC is something else. It is that next kind of step up. If you're not there, maybe people don't get it. To share those moments where you're seeing him day in, day out, you're prepping for a big fight, he's prepping for a huge fight for himself. What did that kind of do to your relationship? Yeah,
it's really helped us grow a stronger bond. And I remember I was training with guys who were in the UFC when I was younger, and the way you look at the whole event is completely different to how you look at it now. Khan and I both, fiancés or wives and families, and trying to put your family first. Whereas when you're a kid, you're looking at the bright lights and you probably look at it from a more selfish angle. So we're probably at very similar stages in life. So to go through it together and understand the importance of it together is great.
You're recently engaged. Are you a guy who, can you bring the family and the fiancé to the fight? Do you need to distance yourself to lock in?
Yeah, again, just maturity. I used to not speak really to my partner, not, just try and protect my energy there. And nowadays, she's at the hotel waiting for me now. My mum and dad are here. I hang out with them. I sit there and have my steak with no salt and nothing else on it while they go out for dinner. It's really nice. And again, just maturity. You grow up and you realise that there's better ways to deal with things.
And finally for me, Jack, that's a lovely pair of sunglasses you're wearing. What are they? What's the sunglasses inspiration?
The sunglasses are Cotton On, 2 for $30. I really like them. And Yeah, I think Cotton On's got some nice brand ambassador deals going at the moment, and I'm always interested.
Did you buy the other pair of sunglasses?
Yeah, I bought the 2 for $30, so I've got this pair, and then I got a black pair for when it's actually a bit more sunny outside.
Very nice. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you.
G'day, Jack. First and foremost, impressive dance moves on Tuesday.
Oh, did you see the memes that have been made about that?
I have not, but you do.
It's bad. Summer Heights High. They did me dancing, and then they clipped it with Mr. G doing like the classroom dance thing. It was actually good. I did think it was funny.
Speaking of memes, don't you spend a lot of time watching compilations of yourself on TikTok?
Yeah, absolutely. The UFC edit fellas need to pick it up. It's been a bit disappointing this fight week compared to last week. Last week the edits were just flowing in hot and heavy. This one it's been a little bit lackluster. So maybe I've got to get a highlight on Sunday and they can start throwing that in.
And you were just upset with Mitch Tinley from Australia MMA. He was in here and he heard you were coming and he bolted.
Yeah, scumbag. No, I'm just joking. He's a good guy. He told me as soon as I said it that he was going to put it in there.
So this is so it's a bit of a tradition where I always ask you, have you got any advice from Ben P coming up to this fight?
No. Ben P was the wizard on the Contender Series, and then I've let my coaches take it from there.
He says that he's not able to get in touch with you now because he got banned on Facebook or Instagram.
Oh, he got banned, did he?
Yeah, he did.
Well, I wonder what he did.
And you haven't fought outside of Aussie for a while now, this being your 4th fight in a row in Australia. Is it a different experience fighting overseas compared to at home, and is it a bit more pressure fighting in Australia?
It's better fighting here for me for some reasons, and it's harder in others. I know that's a pretty on-the-fence answer, but even just little things like going to Coles and knowing all your food and where everything is and the smells, everything's really familiar. When you go overseas, it's all unfamiliar. But obviously, the exposure can be a lot bigger when you go to the US. You know, in a perfect world, I think I knock out Ramon in the first round. We hustle, get another fight sort of January, February, and then if I get another really good win, I'd love to fight on the White House card. I know that's going to be the common theme for the next 6 months, but I think the only way you can do it is speak it and then let your performances back it up. So there's nothing to say that if I don't have 2 really good performances that I can't, I'm sure I won't be on the main card on that event, but I could maybe slot in somewhere on the prelims.
And so you're an engaged man now. How did you propose?
I was on the Gold Coast. We went on a family holiday and it was really nice. My mum and dad were there and her mum came up and surprised her and it was really nice.
All the best in your fight. Congratulations on getting engaged.
Thanks very much.
Jack, you've touched on all my questions already, to be honest. But what was the bet with Street X that you got going on for the 50 free T-shirts?
Yeah, right. I'm in a group chat with him, and he claimed to be the best gambler in the group chat, which is just a wild claim because he's terrible. And I said, all right, let's pick our way through some matches, and if I win, I will come into your store with my whole team in fight week, and we take whatever we want. And he said, yep, deal. What do I get? And I said, if you win, I'll come in, I'll do a free appearance, you can make T-shirts, and I'll give away 2 of my own tickets into the crowd where my family is sitting to 2 people at the Street X store. And of course I rinsed him. So we went back in with the team the other day and we took $4.5 grand worth of gear and walked out.
Yeah, right. Was that horses or was that, what was the...
I can't remember what it was.